So you're accomplishing multiple different things. You're putting content on your website. You're having backlinks, so you have SEO stuff going on, and you're just putting your stuff in more places so that the more eyes can get on it.
All right, what's up, everyone? I am pumped to be here with big time Byron Vick, big time roofing out of the Atlanta area. He just started this business back in about, 6-7 months ago, 5 months ago, and he experienced some pretty quick growth. And I wanted to get him on here and just talk about that, because I know that we have a big part of our audience that is looking for those, to take those right steps when they first start out, and, to make sure that they're following the right things, doing the right things, kind of avoiding some of those pitfalls that we see in the industry. And Byron's a smart dude. So I'm looking forward to this conversation. What's up, my man? How are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. Yeah, like you said, my name's Byron Vick. We are in the Atlanta market based out of Lawrenceville. We serve basically 30 miles in any direction. We try not to get too far outside of that. I'm a young guy. I'm only 26, so I don't know everything. Still got a lot to learn. But if I could help anyone else, that's my age thinking about it, I'd love to do it. So I'm glad you had me on today, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. And you're 26, you don't have like decades of experience, of course, and that's okay. The way that I put out my content is like, hey, this is what I know from my experience working in this capacity, working with these types of companies. And so that's completely fine. You don't have to feel bad that you're, maybe coming across. I know maybe you don't, but I know some people feel like, oh, well, I feel like I'm boastful, or I feel like I'm, telling people what they should do, and I'm young and I don't have that experience. But you're talking about your experience, which no one can take away from you, and it's valuable, right? There's value in everyone's experience. So I don't know if that was going on in your head, but I just had that conversation with someone here yesterday on our team, actually. And I just want to kind of get that point across, because I know, a lot of people want to produce content and put themselves out there, but they feel like they can't because they're not like a so-called expert, but everyone's an expert. Everyone's got experience. So go ahead and share.
Yeah. I just kind of full sent it as far as putting the content out there. And it has paid massive dividends. So if I could say anything, guys, it's really like building a personal brand is not boastful, like you said. It's like setting yourself up to be able to leverage things in business successfully. Because in today's world, if you don't have a personal brand, people don't know who you are. So, it's not boastful to do that.
All right, well, let's just dive right into that, because that's important, and that's what we're talking about today. So you started in September. Right now it's February, so what's that? About 6 months or so. Yeah. What was as far as your content creation, your personal brand? You're pretty active on LinkedIn, which not many people in the roofing industry are. What was the thought behind that? What was the planning, the intention behind that? I assume that maybe you had that kind of planned out before you started your company. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I actually started last year. I was still working as a project manager for a commercial roofing company. And I started really putting together the plan for big time roofing probably around this time last year. Well, not really the plan, but I started thinking about it. And then I took steps as far as like making sure, you do all the right things, get your insurance, LLC. Took months, wrote business plans, wrote marketing plans, wrote sales plans. And most of it was just to make sure that I consistently take action, because I didn't have any sales experience. All I had was operations experience. And so the one thing that I knew that I could control is how consistently I was doing something. Going to the roofing process conference, you were there. I actually went to your breakout, but it was a big eye opener as far as like Marcus Sheridan, listening to him, as far as like, let's hit a critical mass of content that you put out. And if you hit that critical mass, you're just by virtue of how much you've put into it going to get out of it. So then I like doubled and tripled down. I'm like, okay, I'm doing 2 videos a week, 3 articles a week. I'm going to post once on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok every single day. And it seems like a lot, but it's really not. I mean, it's like I make TikTok videos that take 10 seconds and I put them in my drafts, and then I wake up And once I start working, post one at like 9, one at noon, one in the afternoon, and it seems like I'm like really blasting the brand, but like maybe I spend 8 hours a week total um, putting this stuff together, and it gives you a professional. It gives you a really professional look to people out there, which is what you're going for. So I think it's super important. And as far as your question goes, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is still one of the social media platforms where you can get organic reach. I actually have more followers on my business LinkedIn page than I do on my business Facebook page. And I get more engagement and more reach on LinkedIn than I do on Facebook. So, in my opinion, most people are on LinkedIn anyway. They don't. They might not be on it as much as they are on the other ones, but you get more reach. So, I enjoy putting time into LinkedIn. I think it's a great platform for businesses and business owners.
That's cool. So you get business from LinkedIn or how,
Yep.
or okay.
I had a guy that I was in my fraternity a couple years before I was when I came through in college, and he literally found me on LinkedIn and was like, "Man, I love the content you're putting out here. Like, could you come give me an inspection on my roof?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Went out, wound up getting him a new roof through insurance. So LinkedIn has paid dividends for me for sure.
Dude, that's so cool to hear. And I want to just break down organic reach for a minute. I know obviously you know what it is, but for some of the audience that doesn't know that term, organic reach, basically what on Facebook and Instagram, when you have a following, say of 1,000 people that follow your business page, or even personal as well, but let's stick to the business page. When you put out content, it can be a great piece of content, but only about like 5% of people that follow your page are actually going to see that content. And I know it's frustrating. It happens to all of us. And it's not because Facebook's trying to, make us frustrated. It's just because the sheer volume of content is too much for Facebook and Instagram to display to all of our followers all the time. So that's where the algorithm comes in, right? So that's unfortunate. And that's why, a big part of what we do is we train on social media ads. So for a few bucks a day, you can go out there and reach thousands or tens of thousands of people. But on LinkedIn, there's a lot of LinkedIn users, but not many of them are creating content on a weekly basis. So therefore, you post something and your followers are actually going to see it without you having to back your content with advertising dollars. So it's still, like Byron's saying, it's an opportunity to get your content out there in front of your market for free and reach people. So good observation there. Not many people, not many contractors are using LinkedIn. We use it. Probably not as good as much as we should, but I've gotten a ton of business out of it, a ton of kind of partnership opportunities out of it, and it's one of those things that is completely underutilized in the contracting industry.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing, as far as recruiting goes, I don't have a background in recruiting. I'm like a novice when it comes to that. But, we have an interview with a guy interested in sales coming up on Thursday, and it was purely from LinkedIn content. He was like, "Look, I like the brand that you guys are putting out. It seems like you're, successful. You guys have a fun culture. You're putting out educational content. Like I could learn something." And you know, if we hadn't been using it, that opportunity wouldn't be there for us. So
100%. That is so cool. I mean, that's a big pain point in the industry, as you know, is it's hard to find good people. And what I talk about is like, hey, be the company that your ideal clients and your ideal like team members want to come work for.
yeah,
And that's such like, be the magnet, like be that aspirational company that people are like, yeah, I could see myself there. I see their culture. I see their people. I see their leader. I see their content. I see the way that they're treating their clients. I see the reviews that they're getting from their clients, video testimonials, all that good stuff. That's so powerful to be that magnet. And we're fortunate to be in that position as well. We get people that I had a call on this weekend from someone who is just kind of put his feelers out there looking for a new career opportunity and wanted to have that conversation just because he knows the strength of our brand and company. And that's cool. We don't have to put out ads on Indeed or anything like that and just, sift through hundreds of resumes, which can make that hiring process really, really daunting.
yeah, and people that probably shouldn't have put in a resume to your position anyway.
Yeah, I don't really care about resumes too much. It's about like, experience. What have you
Yeah.
done? Let's talk, let's meet up, that sort of thing. I don't really care about credentials, even though I have a college degree and you do too. Like, it doesn't really factor into my decision making. It's
Yeah.
more of those soft skills. Like, do you have what it takes? Do you align with our core values? Are you hungry to learn? Are you coachable? And then we'll teach you the skills, right?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. I have a college degree. College was a great experience. It was fun, but I don't think it was worth what we paid for it. To be honest with you, I think you could learn just as much not doing it in that amount of time. That's just my
I,
opinion.
I agree 100%. Yeah, definitely. Well, I want to talk about this content process that you alluded to before. You mentioned before, and I have a similar process. I think a lot of people that listen or watch, consume my content, Contractor Dynamics content, they must think that I'm on, and then people said it to me like, dude, you're on social media like all day. And I'm really not. It's like less than an hour a day because I'm very strategic about it, which it sounds like you are. Can you talk about your process a little bit where you're posting once a day? And that's my challenge to all of our clients. They're like, yeah, I want to get into a content calendar and post 3 times a week. And I push back and our team pushes back like, hey, I'm going to challenge you to do it every day, 7 days a week. Because if you plan it out and you have some structure, then it's really not that difficult. And really that's what it takes these days to be top of mind.
Yep.
3 times a week ain't going to cut it, you know?
You got to be omnipresent. When someone is ready to get their roof done, they have to have seen you for 6 months, and then they're like, "Oh, I know who I'm going to use. Big Time Roofing." But yeah, so basically, what I do is I block off time on Sunday afternoon, uh, and or Monday morning early, and I just write 3 articles. I mean, I literally just have a list of like 50 different things. Every time I have something pop into my mind, I'm like, oh, I'll write an article about that. I just put it on this Google form, and then when it comes time to it, I write an article about it, and I highlight it yellow. And then if I want to make a video about it, then I come back and highlight it green, so I'll know what all I've done. And I do 3 articles a week, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then 2 videos. So I choose a topic, and I make a video about it, whether it be something that I noticed that happened that week during a build or something that a customer asked me about. If one person asks you about it, most people are probably thinking it. They just don't ask you about it. So you make a video about it, and you put it on your Facebook, your YouTube, your LinkedIn. You link it into the automatic emails that your CRM sends out. All kinds of things. And I think people really get hung up on the fact that like it has to be really good or like super professional. It's like, look, guys, people there's like 1% of people producing content, and there's like 99% of people that are consuming content. So there are people out there that want to see what you have to say, and it doesn't have to be the highest quality production, but it needs to be like authentic and real and there. Like it has to be there for them to see it. So you got to just do it. And like you said, we schedule it. So on Facebook, we schedule our posts, and it takes me maybe, let's say, an hour to like write the descriptions and whatever, and then I don't have to do it the rest of the week. And on LinkedIn, I literally just copy it because you can't schedule yet on LinkedIn, which is annoying. So I just copy it from Facebook over, and then like I said on TikTok, throughout the week, I'm just making these. Like whenever I'm doing something, I'm just making a TikTok and I put it in drafts, and then I pick whatever the most relevant hashtags are, post it, and then put it on a Facebook story. And now it looks like I'm all over the place doing all this, but really it took me 10 minutes, to copy and paste this or move this here or post this here, maybe even less time than that.
That is awesome, man. I love it. So getting into the tactics a little bit. So you have this list of things that you want to talk about, you want to write about, do videos about. I do the same thing. I use Evernote, and like every time I think of an idea, I just jot it down in Evernote. I have like this massive list of like dozens of different ideas. And then you go create, you write an article. So that's going on your website. Like, where are these articles going?
So currently, the articles are going onto LinkedIn, but the company that hosts my website, we're doing a lot of really cool stuff that I would actually like to talk about sometime in this. But part of it is they're putting a blog section in. It's going to help with SEO and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to take all of the stuff that I've already published on LinkedIn, and we'll just put it into a blog post there, and then we can backlink it. So you're accomplishing multiple different things. You're putting content out on your website. You're having backlinks, so you have SEO stuff going on, and you're just putting your stuff in more places so that the more eyes can get on it.
Yeah, repurposing is huge. Don't get like, for anyone listening, watching, you don't have to create different content for all the different platforms. Yes, some of the structure might be a little bit different. Like TikTok's gonna be vertical. You're gonna have an article, obviously it's written, but you can repurpose the same idea like in 10 different places. And that's the, I don't want to say trick, but that's the strategy to being able to do this and be omnipresent with everything.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, repurposing content is, if you had to do one thing for every single one all the time, you'd be like literally never doing anything but that. So,
Right. Yeah. And it also helps your audience. It's not like being lazy. It helps your audience because we try to do this. They see the same concept. Maybe, if they're following a few different platforms of yours, they're seeing the same concept a few different ways and it starts to sink in, right? So if you have an article about like, what is the average roof replacement cost? Well, that might be a quick video on Instagram or TikTok. You might have an article on LinkedIn. You might have something about on your website, like a more comprehensive guide on that. And so people that want a quick hit, want a 10-second answer on that, they can go to TikTok. People that might want, something more in depth, they can go to YouTube or LinkedIn. And then people that really want to get analytical, maybe there's a longer article on your website. So you're providing the same answers, the same content, the same value to people that are going to consume it in different ways. And not only consume it in different ways, but they might consume 3 or 4 different pieces of that content, and that's ingrained to their brain. It's adding more value to them and helping them make a better decision. So it's it's a way of being more efficient and also a way of providing more value to your market.
Yeah. And like you said, it also like maybe they get 10 seconds of it on TikTok and then they're like, I want to know more about this. So then they go to your website and they have this whole article. And then at the end, you have a YouTube video that's a 6-7 minute description. Now, the longer you have them on your website, the more chance you have of them, converting or, calling you or actually sending you a message, something like that. So the more basically the concept is the more content you can have for them to consume, the longer they're going to be there, the more trusting they're going to become of you. Basically because the more value you're giving them, the higher conversion rate you're going to get.
Absolutely. All right. I have a few questions I want to get to, but before I do, I want to answer a question that I think a lot of listeners and viewers might have at this point. Okay, you're creating articles, you're putting them in different places. Give us an example of a couple, 2, 3 article titles that you write or that the videos that you produce. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. So like one I wrote this morning, what is a discontinued shingle? So John Sinek, I'm sure you know of him at least. He is basically like the pro of knowledge as far as discontinued products go. I actually went and took his class when he came to Georgia. Really good class. I would recommend that to any roofing contractor out there. But a lot of homeowners don't know why their insurance company wrote for repair. And the contractor is saying, hey, this shingle is discontinued. It's confusing. It's like drinking through a fire hose to them. So I say, okay, let me break this down into like 3 short paragraphs that can like give a real short outline of what this is. And so whether they're working with me or another contractor, if they run across this article and then this happens to them, they're like, oh, I understand what this is. Or another example is like synthetic underlayment versus tar paper underlayment. Like just the different kinds, the pros, the cons, the cost, different areas of the country where it's better to have one versus the other, that kind of stuff. Just general information that you're not going to know as a homeowner because why would you? I wouldn't be looking up roofing if I wasn't in roofing. But that is super useful to you when it does inevitably happen that you have to get a new roof.
All right, that's a great example. Synthetic underlayment. Not a lot, but some contractors will put a video out there. It's like, yeah, we're a premium contractor. We're not like the other guys. We use synthetic underlayment, and then we'll just kind of leave it at that. And it's like, well, number one, what the hell is synthetic underlayment? And number two, why do I want that? Why am I going to pay extra for that? I have no idea. So your content.
And what are the cons of it?
What's that?
Well, like, what are the cons of it?
Right.
There's always pluses, but there's minuses too. Like, just give people the whole picture and let them decide for themselves.
Yeah, that's huge. Okay, so you mentioned also, Byron, that they're the people that spend the most time on your website consuming content, they're going to be, ideally better prospects and clients. Do you have a system for kind of tracking that? Like when you get a lead in, when someone schedules an appointment, can you go and see like, all right, this guy was on my website for, 27 minutes, he visited 15 pages, that sort of thing?
So I don't have the granularity like on hand to do that, but the company that I'm currently using that hosts my website does Google Ads for me because that's like really I get the social media thing, but Google Ads is like super time consuming and like you really got to know
Oh
what you're
yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
But we get a monthly report that's like it has like your average time spent on the website in relation to conversion rate. And then they have all that data. Like if I really wanted to like audit the process and be like, okay, like how do we like this person clicked here and they stayed 15% longer than someone else. Like how do we really re-engineer this to make people have that click path more? That all that data is available to me.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, we try to look at our CRM as much as possible. Like yesterday, Alex here on our team had a sales call with a prospect, and who looks like he's probably going to be enrolling in our training program. And so, me as kind of the marketing and sales manager right now, wear both of those hats. I go into our CRM and I saw that this guy opted in for one of our training videos in January of 2020. So that was 25 months ago. And so this guy's been in our CRM for 25 months. I can go through his history. He's clicked on this. He's attended this webinar. He's been active here. And so there's a pretty good probability that not only will he enroll as a client, but that he'll be a good client and we'll be able to provide him with more value because he's already indoctrinated into why he needs what we provide, right?
Yeah, for
And I
sure.
think that
Exactly. He's consumed a lot of content.
yeah, and I think it's similar for any roofing contract, any contractor out there. It's like you don't have to, it's going to be ideally probably a better sales presentation. You're probably going to not get price shopped as much because he's going to see your value, he or she. You're going to make more profit on that job because you're not going to get price shopped and beat up on price and all that good stuff. And it's going to be an enjoyable project for your project manager, your sales rep, and that helps with that helps with team member retention, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're happy, they're making a profit, they're making a commission on that. I don't know your structure, but they're not going out there and getting beat up on price 10 times a day. Coming home at the end of the day and be like, man, this is grind, like this is horrible, and like marketing doesn't solve everything. I'm not going to be the guy that says that, but like when you do what you're doing, it really helps to not only attract people, but like retain people because you're providing, good profitable jobs and an enjoyable, experience for everyone, your clients and your team members.
Yep, I agree 100%. It's not to mention the fact that we're also paying for these leads. So you want to make sure that it's your ideal client, that's coming to you. If you're going to pay for an inbound lead, you might as well have spent the time to make sure that they know what type of company you are going into it, so that they're not kind of they don't have sticker shock when you're like, yeah, you're 20% higher, whatever you are than the next person over, but this is why.
Right, right. Yeah, they understand that. So you mentioned Marcus Sheridan, which I was there at the process conference, saw his talk, reread his book, and that's actually how I built my business back in 2013 was blogging based on his recommendations, and now doing it with video content too. So I'm a huge fan. Who else do you learn from? Where else did you learn all this stuff?
Adam Bensman is like literally hands down. If you are a novice in sales and you're getting into roofing, go to his channel and spend 15 hours, on there just learning, just soaking it up, and then get his Pitch Like a Pro video guide, and you can literally see every single video. Dimitri, obviously, I mean, the guy is like, he just puts out content and connects you to people like you, obviously. Like I didn't know who you were before the roofing process conference, and now I'm like a huge fan. I follow you on all the social medias, and you put out really great content. It's very helpful. So people like Dimitri, and probably lastly, people that are in my own bubble, like people like my dad who owned a roofing company, are very influential because they're very candid about the mistakes that they made, and how to avoid those pitfalls.
Right on. Yeah, that's awesome. I love all those guys. Adam Bensman, roof strategist, Dimitri, of course. I don't know your dad, but I'm sure he's a great guy. I don't know him. But
Yeah.
you know what? It's interesting that you said that. Okay, you said go watch 15 hours of Adam's videos. Consume Dimitri's content. Like, this stuff doesn't happen overnight, and I think in our society today, you hear 15 hours like, oh man, that sounds like work. Like, can I just watch like 15 minutes of something and go out and like sell a roof and make some money, right? And
Yeah.
buy a Lambo. Like, no, that's not how it works. Like, the people that you follow, and I'm talking to the audience now, like the people that you love to follow, they have good quality content because they've been doing it for years. Like Adam Bensman, Dimitri, they have hundreds, literally hundreds of videos. So do I. Maybe not as much as those guys, but like, you've got to, it's the simple stuff. You just got to commit to it. Like Byron's saying, like, commit to that process and being consistent with it and holding yourself accountable. Like, that's the formula, right? Like, is that played out in your business so far?
Yeah, patience and time commitment are the two biggest things, right? And they're kind of opposite of each other. Like you have to have the patience to understand that it's going to take a lot of time. It's not going to be something that can happen super fast. But if you are patient, then you get to enjoy the process. You get to learn all this stuff in stride and not get overwhelmed because you're constantly learning, you're constantly consuming. Read books, listen to audiobooks, listen to podcasts. I mean, don't burn yourself out on it, but it does take more than probably 10 hours of like researching one specific thing before you like really get a grasp on what they're trying to say to you.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm a big Gary Vee fan, and like he'll talk about like, hey, I learned about this new thing. I spent I spent 30 hours just doing some research on it, and then I realized it was a good thing, a good valuable thing to like do more of. So I got into it, right?
Yeah.
And that's just another example of what it takes. So I guess
Yeah.
one of the other questions that people are going to have is, okay, I get it, right? Creating content, I've got to have a process, gotta fall in love with the process. I've got to trust the process, have some patience, read, consume, learn, that sort of thing. But I might be starting my business or at any stage of the business. I need business now. Like, I can't just sit there and create videos and wait 6 months to get business. So when you were starting out, Byron, how did you kind of get the best of both worlds, right? You're building that machine, which I would call it, but you're also having the need to get business in the door today.
The first thing you do is put your boots on and go knock on doors. I mean, that's right. I mean, the
Yeah.
easiest way is to go directly to the people that you think need your service. And then you can take that success and then you can broadcast that success. That's the whole formula as far as using social media. But where you start is friends and family. Always, you put it out to them that you're doing this, and you demonstrate to them why you have some amount of professionalism and understanding of what's actually going on. Because if you like were like in IT yesterday and you like start a roofing company, people are gonna be like, I don't know if I want you to put a roof on my house. But that goes into like learning. So get out there, knock doors, talk to all your friends and family, get in every single local Facebook group that you can get in, and post on there often. And same thing with Twitter. If you have Twitter, I don't have Twitter because I don't really enjoy Twitter. It's kind of a cesspool. But you can go there. You can go into like contractor groups and find a lot of people that are going to need stuff done. So that's really how I did it. Just kind of work, hard work. I mean, I know that kind of sounds cliche, but like really, I just got out there and started knocking on doors, and I had no door knocking experience. I had no sales experience, and like I sat down before I went out and I put together a plan. I was like, this is going to be my canvassing. This is how I'm going to do it, and I just followed it. And I've made tweaks and made it a lot better since then because it was like pretty bad then. But even when it was really bad, it worked. So it's you just have to do it. You got to get out there. You got to knock doors. You got to make it happen.
Yeah, what's that quote? Something like an imperfect plan well executed is better than no plan or no
Yeah,
execution or something like that, or a great plan that you don't take action on or something like
yeah.
that.
People get analysis paralysis, man. It's
Yeah,
like, hey, do you want to do it? Okay, go do it.
yeah,
Like go do it. Put a
that
plan
was
together. Take a week to put a plan together, and then go do it. And then I promise you, like a month from now, you're gonna learn enough doing it to like make your process 100 times better.
Yeah, that's a good point. There is a balance there, right? Like I think there's some people that just jump into it without having a plan, without doing the proper research. So
Yeah,
there's value in having that plan, having a strategy, and not just following the latest tactics, or don't watch one YouTube video about how to knock a door or how to do a Facebook ad and then think you're going to be an expert. So do the requisite amount of research, but then don't get into that obsession over too much research where you're not taking action.
yeah, for sure.
That's a it's maybe, I don't want to say an art form, but like you've got to know when to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah,
And that's how I started my business. It wasn't physically knocking doors. It was cold calling contractors. And before I really had anything to sell, I was like, hey man, what do you like? What problems do you have when it comes to like, getting new business or just in general in your business?
yep,
And called 20 or so, had genuine conversations, nothing to sell. I didn't even have a method for taking a payment at that point. So basically just hearing a bunch of pain points, hey, all right, going back to the drawing board, calling them back a couple weeks later, hey, I got this thing, you want to be a beta client for this thing, it's gonna be really cheap, just cover my costs, whatever, and then grow from there. And then like I said, I love that term, broadcast your success, right? Show people what you're doing, right?
yeah, absolutely. You gotta if you're not showing them, then they don't know you're doing it. And people love to help you when they know that you're doing it. Like they really do, man. People want you for all the people that say that they don't want, people don't want you to be successful or whatever. I think that's horse manure, man. I'll tell you what, people will come and they will feed you success if you let them know that you're doing it and you're doing it right.
Yeah, people love to refer. Like
Yeah.
it's I don't know what the psychology there is, but like for anyone who's seen a local Facebook group and someone's asking for, whatever, a caterer, a roofer, a what plumber, like within 15 minutes there's like 20 comments. Like people we have like there's like a value that we get from like being valuable and like referring, and people love to do that. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So when you're going to put yourself out there as a new contractor, or maybe you're just looking at your experience and you're looking to make a bigger push and become more well known, which everyone can benefit from.
Yep.
Don't think about it in terms of like, oh, I don't know anyone who needs a roof right now. Think about it in terms of like, I know all these people and they know people that might need a roof, right? It might be their friend, their neighbor, their mother, their kid, their cousin, whatever, someone in the Facebook group. So your goal is just to be top of mind. And I say it all the time, top of mind is tip of tongue, right? When you're top of mind in your market and then someone hears of someone that needs a roofer, you're going to be, it's going to be, hey, big time. Yeah, definitely call Byron. I see him all over the place. He's killing it, and they want to participate in that success and help you win. I totally agree with that.
Yep. And let me add one thing there. There is a fine line though between like actual success and like just kind of fake it till you make it mentality. It's like don't go out there and like portray yourself as something that you're not, because people really don't like people that aren't authentic. It's if you're like really faking it, it might look good there, but then when you get there and you don't do a good job or something like that, that's way more detrimental than maybe just kind of taking a step back and wait until you do have that success to broadcast it out.
Yeah, 100%. You said that word authentic twice now. It's like people can sniff that out, man. It's like people aren't dumb,
Yeah.
especially when you get on video. Like you can't. that's why video is so great. It's so powerful
Mhm.
because people can see it in your body language, in your demeanor, in your eyes. You can be inauthentic in a picture, in, posting a picture of a house or whatever. But like I said, that's going to be revealed when you go to that appointment and you don't know what you're talking about. But be
Yep.
authentic. Like, people relate to that, man. It's like, that's why video is so powerful.
Mhm. It's like the human experience, you know? I mean, it's the closest thing we can get as far as being as disconnected as we are through social media to like actually sitting here talking to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's dive into the video thing a little bit here, because I know that's a hang up that a lot of people have. It's outside their comfort zone. They don't know what to do. They don't know what equipment to have. So can you just give us a breakdown of, like, okay, you're producing videos twice a week, you said. How do you do that? Is that on your smartphone? You got a camera? Like, is it someone else doing it? What's that look like?
So I have a drone for cool aerial stuff, and then I have an iPhone 13. And this guy right here, this iPhone 13 is all you need, guys. You don't need $1,000 camera. You take it, you buy a $30 stand off of Amazon, and if you have an Apple Watch, then you can start your video on here. If not, some of them come with a little clicker, and you just start making video and do it about things that questions you have in your business or things that you think people would be interested in, and take the video. And then I take the video, I upload it into Canva. I paid like $20 for a video intro that has like my logo that's being built as it, like, with some sound behind it, makes it look cool, professional. And then I literally just splice it together and edit where I want to edit. I don't do too much to it really at all. I mean, literally, I just kind of like edit out the part where I'm looking down and pressing start, and then I edit out the end after I say thank you. Where I hit end again and I post it, and it gets a lot of traction. So it's, you don't have to have, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be great. And in fact, most of it isn't really great, and it's not going to be great until you do it a lot. But it just got to be there.
Yeah, I love that. It's so simple, and I completely agree. I just got the iPhone 13 last week. I had the 8, and I was like, way overdue.
Yeah.
Blown away, dude. The cinematic feature. I did like, I have this, what I'm talking into right now is it's like a $2,000 DSLR camera, and I got these lights and everything, and it's a good setup. But then I put my iPhone 13 on my little tripod here, which has the remote control, like you talked about.
Yep.
And I did a video, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, this is insane. Like, it's just,
Yep.
it's almost as good as like my, fancy setup. And so the tripod, and then I got a little lavalier mic, lapel mic, and that goes into my, the iPhone. And it's, if you're outside, I think this is like a 6-foot cord. Like, if you're outside, you're on a roof, you're in the front yard, just put this baby right here on your lapel, and you get good sound. You have a selfie stick. This thing is a selfie stick, or a tripod. And there you go. For, less than $100, these two things combined, you've got yourself a little video kit. And even on Amazon, they sell, like, you go on, like, search for like vlogger or like video kit or something like that, and they have like all in one. It's awesome, right? No excuse.
Yeah, it really is, man. It's like I had a videographer take a video for me and like splice it up and put it together, and it looks pretty good. Like, for sure, it looks very well produced. But I mean, I think I could have probably done it myself. Now, it would have taken me a lot longer, and I don't know how to like do all the like making the lighting look perfect and all that kind of stuff. But like, you don't have to invest thousands of dollars. You just have to invest a little bit of money and a little bit of time, and you can start having video content and things for people to consume, and things to help people understand that you are an expert and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's not the production quality that you're going to impress people with. It's what you say, right? And then how you say it. So you could get it, hire someone to do a $10,000 video for you, and it could look like a Super Bowl commercial. But if you don't, it's not going to get the traction if you don't know what you're saying, or you're not saying it the right way, you're not authentic. On the flip side, like Byron's saying, do a free video that you're doing yourself. Be authentic, and don't just do one. Do it every week, because you're going to get better over time with it. So Get out there and do it. For anyone listening, watching, like, this is your day today. Make it happen. You don't need a selfie stick. You don't need a microphone. Just take out your phone and answer a question like this. Answer a question that your last prospect had, or one of your clients has, and just do that, and just get good at it. You don't have to publish it. Just do it. Just get in the habit of doing it. Get that muscle memory going.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, think about it. You watch the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is an ad, but look the simplicity of it. A QR code. A QR code. Like, that's all they did, and it's like it has like one of the most traction ever. It's like, it doesn't have to be super complicated. It's just got to be there.
I must have missed that one, but that's brilliant. Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, because
Coinbase
everyone's got
literally
their
did a
phone
QR
out.
code, and it just moved on the screen.
What is it, $6.5 million for a 30-minute spot, something like that?
Yeah, it was something crazy, but I did it. I scanned it, and it like gave me like a free like one Cardano or whatever. And in fact, so many people scanned it, it literally crashed their website.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not awesome, but it's good that they got that much traction out of it.
Yeah,
That it,
for sure. Out of just a QR code bouncing on the screen.
Man, that is brilliant. Simple. Yeah.
Simple.
What's your team look like?
So currently right now, it's myself. I got a guy that does financials for me. And he's been freaking awesome, man. We have our finances down to the dollar, and I think being young and being able to look at it and understand where you're at is like super, super important. And I mean young as a company. We have 3 sales guys right now. We're looking to bring on some more. We have Trent, we got Donovan, we got Michael, and they're all doing really well. Bringing in sales and learning, and I'm learning with them. Like we have our weekly sales training call, and we try to all learn something in the call. So it's unique for sure.
Okay. You mentioned sales training call. Like, is that on Zoom, not in person, or?
Yeah. So we're about to move into an office. We literally signed for an office today. So we'll start.
Congrats, man.
Yeah. Thank you. So we'll start having those in person, but it's just easier to do them on Zoom right now.
Okay. Yeah. It's probably if you cover a 30-mile radius, like that's a pretty big area. So I assume having it on Zoom just saves people time. It's more efficient as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in Atlanta, 30 miles is like 2 towns over. It's like 30 miles is far, and we try to stay just in like the Gwinnett County area, which is where we're located. But Gwinnett County, Forsyth County, Cobb County, and here are like 3 of the fastest growing counties in the U.S. So it's just like work everywhere.
Oh yeah, awesome. And hey, when you're strategic with your marketing, then you don't have to drive all over the metropolitan area. You can choose where you want to focus your efforts, because you have control over that, and you're not relying on just word of mouth referrals and things like that, right?
Yeah, for sure. Our Google ads are like only in Gwinnett County, only the zip codes for our county. Yeah. So that's like where we're focusing all our marketing dollars at. If we have someone that pops up in one county over or whatever, and they need help, it's not like that far. So we'll go help them, but we're not like spending money trying to get people that are 30 miles away.
Right. Yeah, I mean, people that are, newer in business, most are not doing Google ads or spending money on ads. It's door knocking, it's referrals, word of mouth, all that good stuff. But I recommend to anyone, as soon as you can, like, get strategic about your marketing, because time is money. And if you're driving in 30 minutes each way to an appointment that you may or may not be qualified because you're not really doing any good marketing and they don't know who you are, that's going to be a waste of time. Contrast that to, very targeted marketing where you're doing brand awareness, you're doing lead gen, and you're sending your team out within a tight radius on good appointments. Again, that's going to help to retain the team members that you have.
Yeah,
you're going to frustrate your team, man. If they're driving all over the place to crappy appointments and no shows and things like that, like, they're not going to stick around very long. So again, marketing and brand building is such a huge piece to business success.
Yeah, and then you can knock around, like, you can like target a neighborhood. Like I did an article, Facebook ad article, and then a video that targeted the people that read the article. And then we knocked in the neighborhood, and we had pretty good success. People were like, "Oh, we saw an ad for you on Facebook or something like that." So you can like, I guess, door knock that way, like with geo fencing around where you want to be, and just kind of maximize your time spent there.
Yeah, you warm up the neighborhood. So if you're going to go knock a neighborhood, gated community, whatever it is, then yeah, you run an ad, it's $5 a day, whatever. It doesn't cost a lot to get here, to show up here. And then when you show up to the door, especially if maybe there's other roofers that are knocking that same door, you're going to stand out,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
And you've got those colors, the bright green, right? Like that's gonna stand out in their minds, I think.
Yep, we chose this because we didn't see anybody else in our market that had these colors.
There you go. Lots of blues, lots of reds, I'm sure. Not too many bright
Yep,
greens.
yep, and a bunch of roofing logos. So we chose the eagle. I think it represents, like strong integrity, like someone with integrity. And we didn't want to have a logo that was like really similar to everyone else, so we went with the eagle. So
That's
we're
cool.
trying to be unique and stand out.
Yeah, you have to, man. Everyone gets the same. No, I don't want to call it stupid because a lot of our clients have that logo, but everyone has the same text with a little roof line over it. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man! Like, spend more than $5 and more than 5 minutes thinking about your logo that you're gonna, put on your trucks and your catch-alls and like everything. It's just again, back to like a little bit of forethought, a little bit of planning. Don't overanalyze, but like, yeah, be intentional about that stuff, man. It's important the way that people view
Yeah,
your company.
I hear people all the time that are like, go on Fiverr. It costs $10. I'm like, look, guys, this is the face of your company. Like, is it not worth more than $10 to you? That, I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta, this thing, like, it costs you way more to rebrand it down the road than trying to get it right on the front end. So
Yes, absolutely.
don't, yeah, maybe, 500, like, get someone that might put a branding package together behind it too. Like, give you some like messaging behind your logo, and so you can kind of use that to start building the foundation of what you want people to see your company as.
Yeah, it's important. I think the mentality too often is like how cheap can I get this and how quickly can I get it done? Not like what's the long term? What do I want? How do I want to be perceived in my market? Yeah, I get a branding proposal at the end of last year for 42 grand, and that includes like them coming out and doing your office design and like the walls and all that stuff. Like it's pretty involved. But
Yeah.
there's value in it. Absolutely, I can see the value in that. Haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I can see the value there. So
Yeah, for sure. The value in it is when you're taking your TikTok videos around the office now, it's everywhere.
yep, 100%. Yeah. Cool. So you're growing your team. You've got a few sales reps. You're looking to add some more. What is your biggest challenge right now, whether it's leadership or organization or just unknowns? Like what's going on right now?
So, to me, the biggest challenge is just having enough time to really like train them correctly.
Yep.
I am not the kind of look. I came from companies that still use Manila folders, and like you would get there and they'd give you T-shirts and you were gone, and it's like, well, do they know how to do this and this? And we have these kind of processes in place, and no one knew how to do it, and it was all you sacrifice process for short term gains in that moment, and then it becomes a snowball effect that rolls downhill, and then everything gets out of whack. So for me, it's about bringing them in and then making sure that we establish a way of doing things, and then we train them how to properly do those things, and we build a culture around doing things the right way. So it's like I'm not an old company or anything like that, but we have to act like we're a $5 million company or a $10 million company if we ever want to be there. So if you want to be there, then you have to act like that right now. And I know people fall backwards into being that big, but it's a lot better to get there the right way and not have to reinvent yourself once you get there than just doing it, maybe taking a little bit longer to get there, but doing it correctly and then having all those things in place where you can just kind of plug people in and have them trained and ready to go and not have to really stress over that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it gives you more confidence. It gives the new team members more confidence in what they're doing because there's structure there. There's a process there that they can follow and refer to. That doesn't depend on them calling and texting you 24/7 to ask you questions because you've already put that into a process. I was actually doing that this morning, Byron. We are bringing on a couple brand ambassadors kind of for Contractor Dynamics and potentially one new guy that's going to be selling for us. And we also kind of came out with a new training program today as well. So lots going on. So I'm thinking about these brand ambassadors, and we have like basically everything's in Google Docs right now, and it's a little bit disorganized. So I was like, this new guy, like I want to. It's not really like I want to impress him, but like I want to make sure that we're starting off on the right foot and everything's like as professional as possible. So for me, it was a new opportunity to say, let me just pause for a minute and take a couple extra hours to put our Google Docs and some of our other things that we have into Kajabi, which we already use for our training programs. And let me create a training product, or basically a training course in there for anyone who's going to come in and be a sales rep for our company. Again, we're not huge, but planning for that when we are bringing on people to sell for us, like give them some structure, some confidence that they know what they're doing, and that we have they have a process that they can stand on. And that took a few extra hours, but I'm like, I already feel like a more professional company, and it's going to produce a lot more value for us and for our clients. So that's Kajabi is what we use already. But Trainual is another one that several of our clients use to have that kind of in-house training platform. Teachable is another one. Just have something, yeah. I was kind of went down a rabbit hole on that one, but it's just going. I was just doing it literally this morning, so I think it's like it's exciting.
Yeah, it's we use right now. I use Google Drive the same way. So I have our CRM, and then I have broken out our sales process, and I made videos about each one, and so we have an onboarding video. So I send it to him. It's like, hey, welcome to Big Time Roofing. Really excited to have you. And it's not super professional, but it does give them that feel that like we're a brand that you want to be a part of. We have ourselves put together. Like you're coming to work for a company that's going to work for you. And I think those things are really important. And I think that is very, very lost on a lot of people. They focus on revenue. And obviously revenue is super important, but like I think how you build your company from the ground up is going to depend on like really like how long your company can stay afloat. I kind of think in it like Simon Sinek says, it's the infinite game and not the short game, right? So you have to play it like it's the long game. And if you do these things right on the front end, then you don't have to do them continually over and over again.
You're a smart dude, Byron. That's really articulates. It makes a lot of sense. I love that. I wrote that down. Work for a company that's going to work for you. And I don't think we see that enough in the contracting industry. So that's, it's there's a lot of that attitude like, hey, what can you do for me? It's not like, what can I do for you? How can I support your career and your ambitions? So take that to heart, everyone. And then,
I tell them, I say, look, guys, if y'all are successful, I'm successful. So what can I do to make you the most successful you can possibly be?
Love it. What a leader. What a leader. And that book, Infinite Game, awesome book. Everyone knows Simon Sinek from Start With Why, but Infinite Game is equally as an amazing book. Really powerful book.
Yeah, for sure. I think it sums up our culture pretty well. We think way too short term nowadays.
Oh yeah, for sure. Good stuff, man. What is maybe one final question? What is the BHAG? Like, what's the big, hairy, audacious goal for Big Time Roofing?
I'm glad you asked because I was hoping for you to ask.
All right, nice.
We want to become my goal, my vision for Big Time Roofing is not to be the biggest roofing company. We want to actually be a one-stop shop for education and for choosing products and price and everything, right? So we want our website ultimately to be where you can come get educated, then you can calculate your price, then you can choose the products that you want, and then you can choose the salesperson that you want at the appointment availability that you want, and you can have 95% of your roof purchase done before you ever even have someone come out to your house. Because let's be honest, in today's world, we want to buy things with as least, like the least amount of contact that we can have. So Big Time Roofing's goal is to really become like a Wikipedia of roofing in Atlanta, with also like I don't know, like a DoorDash or like an Uber Eats, where it's like, hey, you go on, you pick it, and it just shows up to your house and it's ready to go. So that's really what our big hairy goal is. We're working on it right now. We're having price calculators built for our website. We're having virtual, where you can plug in a picture of your home and have all of the products put onto your home with pictures. We're having what kind of roof is right for you built, where you can go in and you can say, you can pick, a couple different options of what your house looks like, and then it kind of spits you out a generic, like, this is what we would recommend based on your inputs. And so we really are just we're gonna create an environment where people can shop for home service needs as far as roofing goes, with the least amount of annoying contact from us roofers as possible. And we're gonna make it super simple and super easy. And I really think that we're gonna set the tone for our market by doing that, and people are gonna have to catch up with us because we're really trying to be unique and different.
I love that. Yeah, that's where things are going, man. Call it the Amazon of roofing or whatever you want to call it. That's the modern sales experience, is like giving customers what they want. And that is not, a million text messages and phone calls and meetings and all that. That's like making things simple, like we're used to buying other products and services, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the most annoying thing, it's like, if I can't find a price, like, I'm not buying from you. So it's kind of crazy that we're like, people will call in, well, we can't give you that, or we don't know that. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think we're just kind of bass backwards as far as how we think about things, and we need to get a little bit more modern in our industry and kind of catch up with the rest of where everything's going.
Yeah, for sure. So we're recording this in February 2022. Coming up in, I believe it's March. Sumo Quote, I assume, right?
Yep, I use them. Yep.
All right, so Sumo Quote is, I don't know if they've announced it yet, but by the time this podcast is live, they will have announced it. They're having Sumo Summit, I think Sumo Summit, and the theme or the title is the modern sales experience. And so it's all around that. I'm going to be presenting it's a virtual summit. I'll be presenting among some others, and it's all about that. So definitely tune into that. I'll make sure I share that with you when it's, when the page is live or whatever.
I got the email for it literally right before we came on here. They
Cool.
sent out one of those. Yeah.
I didn't know they pushed it out. That's awesome. All right, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so modern sales experience. All right, well, BHAG becoming that, what Byron just said, that's going to be something exciting to keep an eye on. So where can people kind of follow your journey? Where's the best spot for them to follow along?
You can follow us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on TikTok. That's at Big Time Roof LLC. And then we also have a YouTube page. Our YouTube page right now doesn't have very much following, but you can go subscribe to it and help us out. We kind of on YouTube, we kind of compete against Lord big time, our friend from the Great White North. So if you search for us on there, it's going to take a minute of scrolling to get past all his videos. But we're there, and we do publish our videos. So that's really where we put all our content out. We publish articles. We make videos. We do fun posts with our clients and that kind of stuff. So that's where you can find us if you're looking for content. And yep.
Good. Well, definitely go give these guys a follow, because you're going to learn some things. You're going to get inspired for sure. Connect with Byron, smart guy, obviously. And before we head out, do you have a few minutes for a quick lightning round of questions?
Yes, I do.
All right. I like to finish up with some fun, lightheartedness. So 5 quick questions. Number 1, what is your favorite shingle?
Favorite shingle is GAF Timberline HEZ. That's what we install about 90% of the time. We try to stay away from installing 3 tabs unless the homeowner just really wants it. We installed one pretty recently and posted about it. But our favorite shingle is definitely Timberline HEZ.
All right, right on. Popular option for sure. What is your morning routine?
My morning routine is right now our office is still in our house. So I wake up at about 6:30, 6:45. I go downstairs. I let my pooch out, get a cup of coffee. I come up. I'm currently reading Delay, Deny, Defend. So I read 10 to 15 pages of this book. Um, and then I get my day started. I like to feed my mind before I jump into the rat race. So
All right. I love it. I'm a big fan of morning routines. I have a very solid one myself, and pretty much every successful person I've learned from or read about like has a morning routine. So definitely something. If you don't have that, figure it out. Get that dialed in.
yeah.
So my next question was current book you're reading. You already said Delay, Deny, Defend. How about the previous book you've read?
Um, so I've read a lot. The Comfort Crisis. I'm listening to that one on audio book. And before that, I read Steve Jobs, the or not the the biography of Steve Jobs. Amazing book. What a character that guy was.
Yeah, I haven't read it, but I've heard a lot about that one. Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
How about your next travel destination?
This is it depends on something else happening, but I'm hoping, as you can see my football helmet right here, that Auburn's a basketball school now. So I'm hoping we go to the Final Four so that I can make the trek out there and watch Auburn in the Final Four in basketball.
Nice. Where's the Final Four this year?
New Orleans, I believe,
Okay.
or Indianapolis. I don't know. Either way, I'm hoping to be there. It
All
doesn't
right.
matter where it's at. It just matters that that's where I want to be.
All right. That is awesome. I love it. All right, Byron. Well, it's been a blast. I appreciate your time. Appreciate your expertise and sharing. Really, you got a lot of good stuff going on. A lot of good stuff going on that I hope a lot of people take notes on, take action on, most importantly. And yeah, thanks for sharing, brother.
Yeah, man, no problem. Thanks for having me. It's a blessing to be on here, to be so young in the industry, and to be able to share my opinion and thoughts and learn from people like you. It's really awesome. So I appreciate it.
All right. Iron sharpens iron, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.